Hello everybody and all aboard to Chef's Choice. I've already talked about 15 of the countries that performed at Eurovision concert in Amsterdam this Saturday, and now it's time for the second half. Amsterdam seems to be the only pre-party that has their sound mix under control, so it's a lot more pleasant to watch all the performances without the pitch problems that happened, mostly because the singers couldn't hear themselves. You find all the performances on Eurovisionary's channel, which is what I'm basing my reviews on. And I'll put a link in the description below so you can watch them after my video has finished. But now let's go through the second half in random order and start with the Netherlands. I do appreciate the musical quality behind this. It's a great voice that suits the song perfectly and everything sounds the way it should, I guess. But it just doesn't speak to me. Everything from the styling to the music goes against my personal taste. So I still find it hard to look at Waylon and his song from an objective point of view. But as I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. So as long as there are fans out there, there's no reason that they shouldn't vote for him. Spain. I have to say I'm starting to get a bit bored of their performance. That is always the same. Yes, their best weapon in their national final was their lovey-dovey cheese factory on stage, but playing the same string over and over again doesn't help them at all. Because when they now do the same thing in Lisbon, everybody that has seen them before won't be surprised anymore. So they might have shot all their ammo for nothing. But I'm still a big fan of the song, and it could be possible to reach the top 10, or in my case top 5. But without a surprising love explosion, I don't think it's going to work. So they better have a surprise waiting for us in Lisbon, or maybe at least stay separated for a few days before the contest, so when they see each other again it will be as if they met the first time. I don't know. Belgium. I'm glad to see that her voice sounds a lot better than in Tel Aviv. I still think in the first chorus she forces it too much and there the pitch problems come in, but overall it has improved. For me, it's still a very basic song though, that I usually skip after the first half when it comes up in my playlist. And so far she herself doesn't bring anything special to the table either for me. If I didn't know it, I wouldn't remember it after 19 acts. Poland. Finally I can say something positive about Poland. You know that I didn't like their entry at all before. This time it was a lot better. His voice still isn't the best, and I still don't understand why you put a DJ on stage that has nothing to do because his appliances aren't plugged in. I know that's an issue with every instrument that the countries use on stage, except for Israel's loop box, but somehow with the DJs it's always a little more obvious. But anyway, the party groove finally got me a little bit, and I'm so happy that the background singers were gone, and I hope they don't come back in Lisbon. Lucas himself showed that he can get the crowd going by himself. So I still think there are better songs in the running, but like this I can enjoy it as well. Slovenia. I said this in my previous video about the other pre-parties already. Slovenia is one of the biggest winners of these pre-concerts for me. She's such a charismatic and fabulous performer. From the beginning I thought that this song will only get better over time and result in an explosion on stage in Lisbon. And so far she didn't disappoint. While other songs were released, Slovenia has lost a few places in my top 43, but with these pre-parties she climbed up the ladder again. I can't wait to see this in Lisbon. I think she's one of the most unique and most current performers, and I love everything about it. Montenegro. This is one of the songs that is extremely hard to predict. I personally like how refreshing it sounds in the midst of all these other songs. It brings something traditional into the mix while still feeling quite fresh. Unfortunately, I think it lacks on the performance layer. It needs a stage concept to support the song, and I have no idea what that might be and if there will be such an element in Lisbon. I think it might be strong enough to reach the final, but it could go the other way just as well. Belarus. I really started to like the studio version of the song, at least one of the 5 different versions that they released over time. But live it just doesn't hold up. I think in Amsterdam Alekseev gave his best performance so far, but I doubt that it will be enough to stand out in the middle of the power sandwich in semi-final 1 between Israel and Estonia. Iceland. At this point I think we already accept the fact that this won't make it out of the semi-final. It's a beautiful song, but it's so dated. But I think there's still a very small chance that he knocks another country out of its grand final spot. I love that he put some of the Icelandic lyrics back into it, and he's one of the best singers despite having messed up that high note in Amsterdam completely. But I think like Suri, he should come back again another time with a more current song. Switzerland. I think our problem as every year is not the song, it's the lack of connection to the camera and the audience. Somehow there's always an invisible wall between our performers and the viewers. And the fact that Zip's singer Co just doesn't let go of her hat doesn't help, because it always throws a shadow on her face so you can't see her eyes, which is a hugely important part of making a connection. I would be so happy if we make it to the final, but I'm afraid our chances get smaller and smaller. I'm still hoping for a big surprise and the perfect staging in Lisbon, whatever that might be. Just to come back, when the night is in the face of facts, and they come back at the same attack. No way through stones, no way through stones. Armenia. I think Sevak looks like a great performer, and I do like the revamp of the song compared to the original version, but I still think there's far too little substance to work with. The first 2 minutes of the song are just completely unseasoned, and even the last third, where it seems like it starts to go somewhere, it doesn't go far enough. Being in the first semi-final, I think its chances of qualifying are slim. Serbia. I can't decide whether I like this or not. On one hand, it brings something traditional that we don't hear a lot of this year, which I like, but on the other hand it feels too dated. There's also no connection between the 3 performers on stage. They just alternate between whose turn it is to sing, but they don't actually perform together, as if they couldn't decide who should sing the song. I would be surprised if it makes it to the final, but I would be kind of okay with it. Israel. I was a little bit disappointed with Netta's performance in Tel Aviv, but in Amsterdam she came back in full power, and she said again that this is just a teaser of what they are planning for Lisbon. So I can't wait to see it in Lisbon. I still think there's a lot of space to fill, but I guess that's what they're going to do. Her voice and all the different elements of the song, paired with her charisma and the meaning of the song, is still the most complete package for me though, and it's holding on to the first place on my list. I don't care about your modern time preachers. Welcome boys, too much noise, will teach ya. Pum pum po, pum pum po. Australia. I didn't think her performance in Tel Aviv did her song justice, so I was looking forward to see how she does in Amsterdam. It's still one of the catchiest and most uplifting songs of the year for me. But the performance in Amsterdam was better, but I'm still not totally happy. Her voice had some strong but also some weak moments, and I expected a lot more charisma from her. I think it can work well through the camera, but from afar it's not quite there. I'm hoping that she gets her own little pedestal for Lisbon, so she stands out more and doesn't get lost on a big stage. I know what you must be thinking. Czech Republic. Over the course of these pre-parties so far, Mikolas is my biggest letdown. He comes across so charismatic and dynamic in the music video, but on stage he's stuck to his mic stand. Besides some quick dance breaks that are over so fast that I don't dare to blink because I don't want to miss them. And the lack of excitement performance-wise, unfortunately, makes it more obvious how little tonal range the song has compared to others. I don't understand at all why this is on the second place with the bookies, because I could even see this not qualifying if there's no additional surprise in Lisbon.
I get that on my body, know me like it was always meant to be. Now you love somebody new, I always knew. So come and give it to me.
Germany. Oh, Germany. You have such a beautiful song, but I think Michael Schulte should be a songwriter and not a performer. There's just not enough star appeal in general. But I said this before in my Big 5 video, that this song could still go anywhere from high digit top 10 to up to a 23rd place, depending on the staging and his presence through the camera.
I was born from one love of two hearts. We were 3 kids and a loving mom. You made this place a home, a shelter from the storm.
France. Of course I can't really talk about France because Emilia was sick and was replaced for the night by Suri, which I've already said in my first video about Amsterdam was such a heartwarming gesture. It is so beautiful to see that the acts support each other in such a way, and it was a beautiful version of the song, and I actually think I prefer this version because Suri gives it the warmth that it needed to connect with me. Emilia never achieved that because it was a little too cold.
Here is where I was born with the name Messi. Someone held out a hand, giving life to me.
So that's all the songs from Amsterdam. What were your surprises of the second half? Tell me in the comments below. For now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.